It has, I think, 7.6 million views. I couldn't find out how to open this tiny door in a piece of old furniture. And I just asked people, how do I open this door? Where's the hidden trap? Have you got this piece of furniture? And the comments went wild. And it's because I think people wanted to answer it. I find that on videos, people want to comment, they want to interact with you. Because the big thing is with my videos is
Jordana Grace, or Jordy for short, you've become a viral sensation for your short form videos around the world, around the topic of things they should tell you before you move to Australia or along those lines. Tell me, why did you start creating videos around that kind of a topic?
honestly, it was purely by accident. There was no plan or logic to it. I came to Australia because I'm half Australian back in 2020 in January, and I met up with an Aussie friend. We did the Great Ocean road trip, and it was brilliant. And I was working in TV in London as a producer, a junior producer, and I was burnt out. So I left that job and I came to Australia for a holiday. And then my flight back was COVID lockdown. So then I was kind of trapped here, but it was like the best experience ever to be trapped in Queensland. And then I was looking for work here, nothing was happening. And then I realized, even though I'm half Australian, I actually know nothing about Australia. My friends would say, let's go to the servo and bottle, and I'd just be like, what are you talking about? What are these things? I didn't realize how English I was, even though I was half Australian. And so then I started going walks every day because you can only go on short walks around your house. And then I just made these videos on things they should tell you before traveling to Australia. Um, you can't buy alcohol in supermarkets. You shouldn't swim at dawn or dusk because that's when sharks feast. And all these just little videos and little observations I made that I had no idea about that I think other people, other tourists should know. And then it just kicked off. And I think the video that really sealed it for me was the thing they should warn tourists about is not the spiders and the snakes and the blistering heat, it's Kmart. So you'll get trapped in there, you'll leave with hundreds of dollars worth of things that you didn't need. And it got shared to a Facebook group of like 800,000 people. And that's where it all started. And then I didn't realize how much expats love watching the content because they're like, finally, people understand my experience of moving to Australia. But also, Aussies love the cultural differences as well.
Yeah, so that's really interesting. So it's kind of, it sounds like you kind of fell into that viral format. Was it the very first thing you tried and it just took off right away, or did you have to try a few other things first? Because I understand that your beginning was, you had a bit of a rough start, right? And but then finally things took off. So can you take me back through that and the sort of things that you tried that didn't work, and then how you finally got onto that one that boom, it just snapped and it started working?
That is interesting because that's what I think a lot of creators, when they find something that works, just keep repeating it. So, no, it wasn't the first thing I tried. In the beginning, I actually started doing sketches because I loved growing up watching French and Saunders and all these comedy shows. And so I started to do sketches like between myself. You know how you're doing a comedy sketch with yourself, and they did terribly. And also, I film them terribly. I'm an editor and I would film them in TikTok, download them, and have the TikTok watermark on, and then film all these videos. So when I put it together, the TikTok logo was all over the shop and they did terribly. And actually, it was my 12-year-old cousin, Ophelia, that got me into TikTok. And it was just dancers at this point in 2020. So I was doing a couple of sketches, they went nowhere. And then it was just one day of walking along and I realized things they should tell you. And it got a couple hundred views. I did part two the next day, part three, part four. That came up video was part five, and that's when it took off. And then after that, I did Aussie songs. And because it turns out that in Australia, if you play the song Eagle Rock, it means that Aussies drop their pants in certain states.
I didn't know that. I've been here for like 20 years. Okay, so I better not play that song in the wrong place.
Apparently, South Australia. Yeah, you play Eagle Rock, they're like, right, drop the pants.
Oh gosh.
Like they love the song Horses, and I just was learning all this stuff, but it was a lot of trial and error. It wasn't a long period, say 2, 3 months, but I was doing what I loved, making sketches, and no one cared. No one liked it. And actually, I've done similar sketches about stuff I wanted to do over the last few years, and they don't do well at all. But the sketches that do well are just the short observational ones about Australia or me becoming a new mum or even going back to England. So it was, I realized after a couple of videos, when I had that tagline, things they should tell you before coming to Australia, then had that, what the problem was in there. It's only 3 seconds, but it hooked the audience in. They knew what I was going to talk about. They were intrigued and they loved it. And then it became consistent for them. They knew that these videos are coming up. So I actually got recognized today by someone. He's like, things I should tell you before coming to Australia.
Mm.
And he's English and he moved over here and he loves them as well. So it was trial and error of what I liked. And then I realized it's listening to what my audience likes. So it did take some time to figure out, but I found what worked for me.
So how did you actually sort of figure out, like, especially that early on? Well, it's I guess it's relatively early on. Maybe it's not that early for TikTok itself. But how did you figure out that having a specific format that's repeatable is an important thing on a place like TikTok? Because that it's not an intuitive thing. You'd think that you'd want to create something different every time, and try a lot of different things. Not just repeat the same thing over and over. So how did you kind of did someone tell you that? Did you just figure out and you just go, hey, we're on a roll, let's keep doing this? How did you come about sort of knowing that that's a good thing to do, especially way back in like 2020, right about there, right?
I think it was a mix, a combination of all of them. So because I had like 10 to 100, 200 views on the videos that I like doing at the beginning. And then when I started doing the things they should tell you before coming to Australia, and I'll add on the reason I didn't think those videos would do well because they were just so easy to do. So when I say I like doing sketches, they took time, they took effort, I had a script. But with the things I should tell you videos, I was just going for a walk. They were so easy and off the cuff. I didn't even think that they would do well. But I knew they were going to do well because, in comparison to the other videos I did, got hardly any views. These ones, the views kept growing. And the key thing was that I got comments and interactions. I had expats talking about their experiences, Aussies being like, oh my gosh, that's so right. And so I was feeding off what the audience liked. And they would say something. So then I would do a video on that comment, like, oh yeah. Or the different names for tradies over here. So I was having this interaction and relationship with the audience. And so that helped me know that this was a niche to go down. And I would deviate sometimes, like I'll go back to doing a sketch and it wouldn't do well. So I would stay on the track of what my audience liked. And then I found that when I was watching content, what did I enjoy? And there was this woman that was talking about things that made you a millionaire. And she always had the same first line and then had a different tagline for what that video was. And I realized, oh, I like consistency. I like knowing that that's the same. And at the back, in that time, it was like hashtags and things like that. So I realized from watching other videos what people were looking for. They wanted consistency. And because this was COVID, I got a lot of messages saying that it was just lighthearted and helped them get through lockdown. So at first, it was me watching the numbers and stats. Yes, this is what people are coming back for. And people commenting, this is what they want. But also me watching other content creators and realizing I'm going back to them because they're talking about camels and I like it. I'm going back to them because they give me hair care tips. And I think knowing that it was better to stay with a niche for a while until you got more established, and then you could branch off a bit.
Right. So, okay. So you very early on realized that, you're getting it from your audience, but you also saw a friend of yours doing a series like that, and the consistency thing that came through. People seem to like that. So it's not necessarily something that you learned from a course. You learned this from doing. Is that right?
Yes, learn by doing. And I had a friend tell me at the beginning, because I'm a perfectionist and I studied media, and they just said, your first video will suck. Once you accept that, you can start creating, because I think we put so much pressure on ourselves to create amazing content. But what I found early on with the videos started going well is that I just went for a walk and I just talked like a human being. I just talked about what people want to talk about, and it wasn't a huge effort. And I think after years of having so much curated and perfect content online, people resonating with me because I'm a regular normal person. Because at that time in 2020, it feels as if influencers sold water and were beautiful, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I would look a bit feral sometimes in my videos, and that was normal. And then I looked at other videos in other creators and realized, oh, they don't have makeup on all the time. So that gives me permission to not wear makeup. And it was easier for me to make a video when I took the pressure off that I didn't have to have it perfect. I just went for a walk. I said the same line, but addressed a different problem or pointed out a different observation, and people loved it.
Hmm. Now, I noticed that you didn't just stick to just that one format of things people should tell you before you come to Australia or along those lines. You like even within that theme, you've got lots of different variations. For example, let me just list a few here for our listeners and viewers. So things they should tell you when coming to Australia, that's one. Things they should tell you before traveling to Australia, things they should tell you before living in Australia, things they should tell you before having children in Australia, that's a more recent one, right? And things they should tell
Yes.
you before you become an adult. So things like that. So there's quite a bit of variation that you actually have on your channels and with your content. But I also noticed that you've got some other formats that you use as well. Can you dig into that a little bit and maybe explain why you don't just do the one thing and why you have a variety of more content? Because you see quite a range. You see some people like Pat Flynn, for example. He always has the same thing. It's always, should I open it or should I keep it sealed? With these little short pocket monster series. But you, on the other hand, you've been able to show some significant growth. I notice you're getting like every now and then you get over 1 million views on your on your Instagram channel. So
Yeah.
so tell me, what's the reasoning there behind not just sticking to the one thing, but it seems like you're testing more than one, or have you found like a range of formats that work really well for you?
It's actually a really interesting topic to talk about because I'll be honest, with the things I should tell you before coming to Australia, traveling to Australia, I started changing up because I was panicking, thinking I should have keywords. And are people Googling like coming to Australia, or are they going to Google traveling to Australia? And a little bit of my ADHD, I wasn't quite consistent, but that's when I was testing. What are people looking for? Are they putting in the search terms traveling to Australia, or coming to Australia, or living in Australia? So I was experimenting with that. And I tend to always do traveling to Australia. But now I'm actually looking at moving to Australia because I have a lot of people like yourself who have moved to Australia and are looking for what life is like over here. And then when it comes to different types of content, so I did this video, oh gosh, I think about 4 years ago, where I was staying at this Airbnb and there was this old fashioned desk and there was a tiny little door with like a little keyhole and it just wouldn't open. And I was like, I bet there's a hidden button. There's a hidden button in this desk. And I just made a silly video in it. I just had a shower, so I didn't even think about it. But I was like, help me open this little desk. It had nothing to do with my niche content of traveling to Australia. But then I posted it that night, and in the morning, it had millions of views.
It's this one
And
here, isn't
yeah,
it? This 7.6 million views on TikTok. I watched that video this morning and it's like, what? Okay, so sorry, continue.
and it just blew my mind. I was like, oh my gosh. And people were invested. And you find that when it comes to videos, people want to be invested. And they were Googling the desk. People were hunting down the same desk, how to open it. Turns out I just wasn't pulling the door handle hard enough. There was no trick. There was no
That's
hidden
right.
button. I just didn't pull the door hard enough. But I realized
Hilarious.
people loved it. I know. I felt so. I was like, I'm so sorry. I just didn't pull the door hard enough, but people so invested, and I love the relationship with the people commenting. We're all working on it because I was there for a few days. It took me days to figure it out, but I was so blown away by it. And I think it's the intrigue, it's fun, it was lighthearted. And then I actually started calling around all these vintage shops. So I thought, oh, maybe I'm onto something. Maybe I can be the girl that finds hidden drawers and stuff in furniture because I love a bit of Sherlock Holmes. I thought it'd be so exciting. So I tested it out. I thought, could this be a great series? And actually, it did work. I went to two other places where there were hidden compartments in furniture. I called them up and said, "Do you have any piece of furniture with hidden compartments? Don't tell me where they are. I want to film myself opening it, and I'll talk about your store." And they're like, "Of course, come on in." And both videos actually did really well. And so that could have been another avenue. However, I lived on the Sunshine Coast and I had to travel down to Brisbane to these places because there
Mm.
weren't many vintage stores on the coast. And it kind of just fell by the wayside. But it showed that a little trial and error, I did it once, could it happen again? And it consistently did happen. Unboxings and finding things like that, it could have been a great another route to go down. And it was also great because it showed me that I could have other avenues of content. And so it is just about experimenting and knowing that if it doesn't do well, that's okay. Experiment. And I did videos on things they should tell you before traveling to the UK because Aussies need to know what side of the escalator to stand on when you're in London because Londoners will get mad at you. And it's not nice being yelled at. So
Mm.
that it got millions of views again. And I'll be honest, being a content creator, doing it full time, I've been doing it part time for years with a full time job. So there have been moments of I've been consistent and then months of not doing anything and just trial and error when I worked at a radio station. Do people want to see behind the scenes at a radio station? No, my viewers don't. But then the other day, I did a poll on my Instagram and I said, why do you watch my content? Because I wanted to know why they loved it. And a lot of them said they love the comparisons between Australia and the UK, but also they loved the new mum content. And I didn't realize that so many people following me are also following my journey. So, Gideon, it was amazing to get to a place where people just want to see what the journey is like. And so I think you get to a point where people are interested as you as a person as well as the content.
100%. So I want to take you back a little bit there to when you talked about this video here that got like 7.6 million views, and in general talking
Yeah.
about finding different formats. So to use this one as an example, because I know, it sounds like you've tested a bunch of different things, and you would have, well, you've found some that's worked and that you keep on focusing on. Obviously, the reason you keep on focusing on is because a number of reasons, but one of them would be you're getting views. But what about this one
Yeah.
here as an example? Why did you decide not to go down that path? You mentioned the difficulty perhaps of location and living on the sunny coast. There's not enough shops around to be able to shop for that sort of thing. You have to travel to Brisbane. But was that the only reason that made it difficult for you to do that? Or was there other reasons as well and maybe in general, like how do you decide like not to pursue one that might be a good one?
Well, I think for me, it was mainly the can I find the items because I had a list of vintage shops and I called them up, and I called them up quite frequently. I made a date in my diary to call them and say, do you have anything new in with hidden drawers or hidden compartments? And that was probably the main block in my way to continue that content because I could have done a YouTube series about it. I could have made it long form content, but I think that was the main block. And the other reason is that when you do content creation, in some ways, to stop the mental block of making content thinking it's too hard, you have to make it easy for yourself and fun. And while I love the videos, the hunting down the products, going to film them while doing a full-time job was just too much because I was
Mm.
spending my weekends going down to Brisbane and back again for maybe one video. And so I think for me that was the main block of what available items do I have to go and find them? Because again, it is a great avenue and it could be great for YouTube, but it was doing full-time content. And I think I hope people know that when it comes to content creation and they see so many content creators make videos of not putting too much pressure on themselves to think I have a full-time job and family and all this and I should be posting every day. I think if I was to start again, I would probably take it down and take the pressure off and say once a month I'll call up people and I'll do a video once a month because as long as I'm consistent, that's what's important. And I actually love doing it. The other part is I did love filming those videos, so that wasn't an issue. It was more I couldn't find the items
Mm.
on the coast or nearby to film.
Okay, so a key ingredient for finding this repeatable format is to make sure that it is actually repeatable in an
Yeah.
easy way that doesn't get you burnt out. Because you've had burnout experience already in the UK, right? So you don't want to have a repeat of
Yes.
that. So okay, so that's really good information. So in contrast, if we look at this one that even though it got, I think it's your highest number of views on TikTok, if I'm not mistaken. I tried to sort by popular, but it doesn't seem like it's put it in the full correct order.
Yeah.
But it looks like this is the biggest one, but it's not the one that you ended up sticking with, which is really interesting, and for the reason that it's just not sustainable. So the one that you have
No.
now gives you both the views and exposure and comments and interaction, but also you're able to do it over and over again, and it sounds like it's effortless. So I think it sounds like that's a key ingredient to help you decide which viral format to choose. Is that something that you can do over and over, and it's kind of effortless?
Yes, I think you have to ask yourself because everyone has different ways of working, but what is going to stop you filming a video? What are your roadblocks in front of you? And for me, this is my day-to-day life, the content. It's I'm living that life, which I think makes it more relatable. But if I want to do something consistently, because I had all these sketches I had ideas for, but it actually took too much time. This niche means I can film it every day. I can film it wherever I go in the car. So if you're looking to create repeatable content, it's kind of ask yourself, what do I enjoy? Because you've got to have joy in it. If you're just forcing yourself to do it, you're not going to do it long term. If you don't have fun with it, it's then become a job.
Mm.
Whereas I enjoy this, I enjoy talking to everyone about it, and I can film it in my day to day life. It makes it a super easy formula. Now I have the intro, things I should tell you, poor time to Australia. I just add in what the problem is, what the fun observation is. I can film it anywhere. Or you can even film it with green screen. It is, as you said, repeatable and easy. And it's relatable. So it's a winning formula for that.
So that's a nice segue into my next question, which you've already kind of touched on that, which is the whole consistency thing. And so it's one thing to be consistent with content, but what if life happens? Like you've just had a baby, right? But you're still
Yeah.
publishing content. So what's your advice for someone who's got a busy life? Maybe someone like me, or maybe another mum who's just had a baby, or maybe a mum that's got 3 children or something. I don't know. Who's just really busy and thinking, hey, I've got to create this content. What's your secret for still being able to be consistent, even though you are a busy mum?
Good question. So for me, sometimes I have to change it up. I actually have a few different ways of doing it. I had one the other day where my husband was in the office. I was in my pajamas about to go to bed, and I just said, I've got an idea. Just play along, flow with it. And it was 14 seconds. And I just walked in the room and said, Hey, darling, do you want some yogurt? And his face was, It's yogurt. Some reason Aussies cannot stand when you say yogurt, it's like yogurt. But it took 14 seconds to film. It took 1 minute to edit, and it got uploaded, and it got like nearly a million views. And it was just easy for me. So sometimes my advice, yes,
This one
that
here.
one.
Oh, this was
I
funny.
think on,
Do you mind if I play a little bit just so people can
yeah,
see a
yeah.
part of it? Okay, I'll play a little bit. Ooh, sound. This always tends to sound
Have some yogurt.
his reaction. Okay, I won't play the whole thing. Definitely go watch that. That was so. I gave you quite a few more views on that one, Jordy, because I watched it over and over because it was just his reaction that was just so funny. It was hilarious. But anyway, I interrupted you. That was yeah. So that works really well. So having something like that, that's everyday life sort of thing, and just doing it on the fly.
Yes, and I think my advice is to people who are busy because I am 3 months postpartum, and to be honest, I never feel like I look the greatest or feel the greatest. And sometimes I make a game of it with myself. I'm like, just film a video wherever you are, and if it takes longer than 5 minutes, don't continue. So if I'm in the car, the baby's in the back, I might just film an observation. And the car is actually a great place to film because it's like your own little sound booth. It's great.
Mm,
So filming in the car is brilliant. And
nice.
I just make it really easy. And if I overthink it, then I stop filming. I've had viral videos where I've been in my bedroom and I kid you not, my phone has been propped on a jumper, not even a tripod, a jumper against a pile of laundry. And it was me talking to my midwife about my gigantic baby that they were predicting. And it got hundreds of thousands of views. And it just, and I filmed it, and actually my phone died because I'm terrible at charging my phone. And then I filmed it again. It was even better. And it's just making it easy for yourself. So if you're busy at the moment, you think the pressure to do it, try and take the pressure off and just think, how can I put this how can I put this in a coherent, practical way? Please take the pressure off of I've got it's like you said, I should film every day. I've got to film every day and make it fun for yourself. And just think, I'm in the car. What's an idea? Just go with it. And you may not post it, but just try it out. Just give yourself some no, some Just be kind to yourself. Or when you're on a dog walk, film yourself on a dog walk, film your observation. And that's what my all my content is. It's just observations on the go wherever I am. Some mums I've seen very popular on TikTok and Instagram, they just film in their kitchen. The kids are in the background chatting, but they're still filming it because we're able to look past that and just hear the content. And also it's like I repeat a lot of my content. Like say it's the same line I do, things they should tell you before traveling to Australia. Sometimes one video can be 30 seconds. Sometimes I will do the same video, but in a different style. And I remember after my first year of content, it went really well. I started to repost my old content. And someone commented, like, oh, I've seen this video before. I was like, I know, I'm reposting it. And it's okay to repost. It's okay to redo the same video if it went really well. Just try and make it as easy for yourself as possible. So my encouragement is to people, just ask yourself what your barriers are. Is it because you haven't done your hair and makeup? And by the way, I rarely ever do mine. It's okay to look feral. Everyone does a little bit online. Everyone has those moments. But just think, am I in the car? Just do it now. If it takes, it'll take less than 2 minutes. And I film in the TikTok app because you can edit it as you go. And that's one trick for me that makes it really easy. But figure out your own style of how you can make it easier for yourself. And if you just post one video a week, but do it consistently, that's great.
Awesome. Golden advice. Thank you for that. Now, it's about time for us to move into a new section that we're having for this podcast. Jordy, you're the first one to experience it. I got the idea
Oh,
from Jeremy Vest. He's a master video strategist, and he talked about coming up with these short form contents that you can clip for short form videos. So it's called In 1 or 2 Minutes. That's the series. I've got about 5 or 6 questions here. We'll see how we go, and your job is to answer them in 1 or 2 minutes. Up for the challenge?
okay. Let's do it.
All right. Okay, so some of it you might have covered already, but that's all right because we're going to be clipping it. So, and I think there might be some new insights coming through here. So, ready for the first one?
Go.
Here we go. All right, Jordy, in 1 or 2 minutes, what was your most viral video and why do you think it went viral?
That must have been my video where I couldn't find out how to open this tiny door in a piece of old furniture. And I just asked people, how do I open this door? Where's the hidden trap? Have you got this piece of furniture? And it has, I think, 7.6 million views. And the comments went wild. And it's because I think people wanted to answer it. I find that on videos, people want to comment, they want to interact with you. So you don't even have to ask them, like, comment below. They want to work with you. So I think it was really popular because it's fun, lighthearted. Everyone loves to solve a little puzzle, don't they? Everyone loves a bit of crime drama, but they wanted to be interactive. They wanted to solve it, and it was short and lighthearted. And I think that's why it went so viral.
Amazing. Awesome. Right, next one. Okay, in 1 or 2 minutes, Jordy, why do you think some of your videos don't go viral?
Ooh, probably because I put too much pressure on myself, or I have to ask myself the question, would I enjoy watching this? And sometimes I look at a video and think, I've not laughed. Or sometimes I make a video and I think it's hilarious and no one's liked it. I think it's just not something that connects with people. Maybe it's too slow in the intro. Sometimes the volume's too loud. Background music can be too loud and it really puts people off. So I look at a video, would I enjoy it? Does it interact with other people? Because the big thing is with my videos is I want to interact with people. And if it's not something that they connect with, I don't think it's going to do as well. And I think it has to be more interactive with the audience, something that they want to get part of.
Awesome. All right. Next one. This is a bit of a different one. Jordy, in 1 or 2 minutes, which platform do you think is the easiest to go viral on right now and why?
I would say TikTok. TikTok is a lot easier to grow on and to get viral videos on. I think because people are looking for it. I have more success at the moment on Instagram, but I think it's because I built up a consistent audience. Like my videos and posts do really well for the last couple of months, and I love it in the interaction. But TikTok, I think, is the main one to go viral. I have had a video, I think, I had maybe 20 million on YouTube, but that was one out of like 700 that I post. But
Hmm.
consistently, I think TikTok is the best platform at the moment to go viral.
Why do you think it's TikTok?
I think it's because it's just the most here and now. I found that when I worked in radio, they would find out information a day later than TikTok. TikTok has the stuff now as it's happening. It's gonna, like, with the Coldplay concert and all that drama that happened there, it was on TikTok first. You're getting the drama and the juicy gossip on TikTok first. And I think it's really the easiest app to film and edit on and to just upload. It has the most at the moment. So I think it's the easiest to work with. And I think it's the biggest app to use right now.
Amazing. All right, next one. In 1 or 2 minutes, what's the quickest way to find a viral video format that you can use over and over on your short form videos?
Again, I recommend TikTok. Go to the search function and put up, for example, dog grooming and see what results come in, what people searching for. It's the same as Google and YouTube and what are people looking for? So, and then you'll see the videos come up, and I look for the most viral video, and I look at the biggest videos actually, and I see what do they have in common. Maybe it's a great opening, like for dog grooming, it's a cute puppy. The words are on screen that says, grooming a puppy or something like that. So yeah, do you go dog grooming? I don't know why it's one I love.
Oh, what's this?
I don't know.
You're
You're
not
not
alone.
alone.
Dog,
TikTok
dog
monster,
grooming.
look after you,
Doesn't like that
Gideon.
one. I think it's misunderstanding what grooming means here. So maybe it's like,
Okay, dog
yeah.
haircuts maybe.
Yeah. That's true.
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
that's enough to go viral.
That's not happened. Yeah.
Haircuts.
Okay, so even there, the top one is, yeah, haircut, because that's what you're putting
Okay,
in.
here we go.
So yeah, I would look at, for example, that one is 184,000. The one beneath is that 711?
711. Yeah, I'll
That's
zoom
a
in a bit.
haircut. So yeah, I would look at those two videos, one above and below, and it's got a cute puppy, the first thing you see on the screen, and then that's a great haircut. And then has the wording on top. And even the one a bit down below, 647,000. I would look at what do these videos have in common and then try it for yourself and see what the wording is beneath, what are people searching for, and trial it that way. Because when I put in travel to Australia, I tend to come up a lot, but I think it's because I've built that audience up. But use TikTok as a search function for what people are looking for, because it has a section that says what others have searched for, how to apply eyeliner, how to do this, how to do that. Try to see how that goes. And then for me, I have the question answer within the first couple of seconds of the video. So people know what they're in for. Other videos, they just have the text on screen. So people kind of are invested from the get go. They know whether or not they want to be invested. Or you have a video that is top three things to know when traveling to London. Then your brain kind of goes, okay, I can listen for three things. I know it's going to happen. And they'll kind of tend to watch the end of the video.
Awesome. Gosh, this is working really well. I'm learning a lot just from this, just these little 2 minute ones. It's amazing. I wish I created more questions here, but I do have two more. They're actually very similar. One is there's slightly variation on them. So let's see how your answers change depending on the question. All right, so here we go.
Okay.
All right, Jordy, in 1 or 2 minutes, what's the fastest way of making money with short form video?
Okay. Well, as an Australian creator, you don't get paid by TikTok or Instagram, but you do get paid by Facebook, and YouTube. So if you're looking to make money as a short form creator, I would connect one example, your Instagram to your Facebook. When you have, think, a certain amount of followers, you can connect them both. So my videos that have gone the most viral on Instagram are because they've gone big on Facebook. When you look at the insights on a video might have 100,000 views on Instagram, but 900,000 on Facebook. So that's where you're going to make your money. So through Meta is where you make the money. So I would make sure that you're sharing your Instagram reels to Facebook because their joint views are joined together and that's where you'll make the money. So make sure that you're commenting on your Facebook videos because that's the side that's going to make money for you. Also, you can look at brand partnerships of contacting brands if you want to do work with them and review on your channel. That's another way you can make it in brand partnerships. And then YouTube. It takes a bit longer at the moment now, and I'm actually still working on it. I'm not part of the YouTube Partner Program yet. But if you get into the YouTube Partner Program, YouTube will pay you better overall, even as a short form creator. But I do believe you need about 10 million views on your videos within a year. But as a Australian creator, it's through Facebook or it's through YouTube or brand partnerships. Or again, you can go into selling digital content. But if you're starting out, I would connect your Instagram to your Facebook as a starting point.
Amazing. Awesome. All right. So the last question I have is actually very similar, but it's different. So I wonder if the answer will actually be different as well. So let's see how we go. All right, Jordy, in 1 or 2 minutes, what's the best way of making money with short form video?
Best way of making money. Honestly, for me, I make the most money through brand deals. And when I first started out, I remember someone offering me a moisturizer for free for making a video. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. But now I've got to the point because I work full time, I don't have to take every brand deal. I want to make sure I work with brands that are real and authentic and that I use. And so I've learned how to negotiate, I got paid by one, because I'll be transparent with it, by one company, $7,000 for two short form videos. And also, as a short form creator, if you're on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, you can share the one video on multiple platforms. And then you can also upsell as well if you're doing brand partnerships, saying, I'll share the same video on my Instagram and my TikTok. And so you can upsell and do it that way. So that's the way I make the most money. But I make the most consistent money through Facebook.
That's really interesting. All right, so I've got just a follow up question on the brand deals one. How do you go about getting a brand deal? And we do have to start wrapping things up a little bit here, but maybe
Yeah.
that's sort of the last bigger topic we talk about. When it comes to brand deals, since that's the best way of making money from your point of view with short form video, how do you go about getting a brand deal? I mean, do you need a big following first before you can do that, or can you already start when you're a bit smaller? Are there some other hacks that you know about? What's the best way of going about that?
So I had the same questions and I was very naive. I had no idea how to do it. The best thing to do is to get a piece of paper and write down all the brands that you would like to work with that work with your daily life because you want them to be authentic. You don't want to create a channel where you just do brand deals with anyone and then no one believes you when you say that you like something. And then I contact them. I use ChatGPT. I say, write me a script to contact this person and say, would you like to do a collaboration together? And then that gets the conversation started. And you don't need to have a big following. I think I started getting brand deals when I had 20,000 followers. And a lot of it right now is engagement. I have just over 70,000 followers on Instagram, but I do get brand deals because I have an amazing audience that are very interactive. So when brands look at me, they go, people, they like you, they trust you, want to work with you. So I'm very conscious of which brands I work with because I want to make sure my audience like them as well. But I would just DM them. DM them, have a nice little script, make it easy for yourself, change it a little bit every time, but have a standard script and then just DM all these people and then go from there. From 20 people I message, I might hear back from five and then I might work with one, but it's a way to get started.
Okay, so it's a bit of a numbers game as well. You got to put yourself out there, and 1 out of 20.
Yeah,
So if you've only contacted 5 people and don't get any results, don't feel bad. At least contact 20 people or maybe 100. So
exactly.
okay,
And I,
bit of a
I, I
numbers game.
honestly use the same template for the most of them. I just change it a little bit, make it easy.
Nice, love that. All right, so kind of the last question is: are there any questions that you think I should have asked you, Jordy, that I didn't? That would be useful for our viewers and listeners.
I will say that it can feel really overwhelming if you want to get started as a content creator to know the strategies for Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and YouTube. I'm just going to say it is overwhelming. And I work with people that do this full time, and not every creator knows every platform inside and out. I have no idea how Meta works. I'm actually going to try and attend a conference soon to learn more about it. But my recommendation would be is to go onto all the platforms, get the same tag, like your ID, your at name, so people can find you on multiple platforms. Because I have some people that are only on Instagram, some people that are only on TikTok, have the same name across all of them. Even if you don't use them, it means that no one else will take them. And repurpose your content. Take the pressure off. And if you make a 1 minute video, you can put that on Instagram, on TikTok, and on Facebook and on YouTube. And it's the same video, but across multiple platforms, you're going to get completely different audiences and just make it easy on yourself. And please know that not everyone knows every platform inside out. And some of your videos won't do well, some will, but the ones that do well, look at your insights and see why. Look at the comments, interact with people, set yourself a timer of 10 minutes a day of chatting with people, and just start from there.
Awesome. So useful. I love this interview, Jordy. Thank you so much for your time. We sort of at the end of it, and I want to be respectful of your time. So tell me, where can people go to contact or probably not contact you because you're a busy mama. But where can they go to find out more about you and to connect with your content, things like that?
Or you can check out my link tree. I think it's the Jordana Grace. Or you can look at me on Instagram. I'm the Jordana Grace across all my platforms. So THE Jordana Grace. I'm also known as that British girl. So you'll be able to find me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube. But you can also DM me and I'll see if I can get back. I have a lot of DMs, but I'll try and get back to you if you have a specific question. But just find me on any of those platforms. And I hope you like my content.
Jordanna, I think they will. I think they'll love it. As I was researching this interview, I was loving watching your content. So engaging, and I can see why you are growing so quickly. Thank you so much for your time and for the amazing information today, and wishing you all the best, Jordy.
Thank you, Gideon.
Thanks for tuning in. If you want to grow your influence with daily short form videos, Vubli makes it effortless. Post everywhere, be seen everywhere. Try it free at vubli.ai. I'll see you in the next episode.